Hi, everyone, and welcome to the 19th episode of Battles and Voices. I'm Lathika, and I'm the founder and host,
And I'm Camden, and I'm the co-host.
and we serve on the executive team of Battles and Voices. On Battles and Voices, we bring together students, mentors, and professionals involved in the healthcare field to share their journey and stories.
Now, please welcome our guest, Dr. Christy Kestner.
Dr. Kestner, thank you so much for being part of this episode. We're really excited to have you on Battles and Voices. To start off, feel free to introduce yourself and share a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Sure. As you guys said, I'm Dr. Christy Kestner. I'm a neuroscientist, a science writer, and founder of Brain and Beyond. This is a science communication platform that's really dedicated to making neuroscience, immunology, and oncology just accessible and engaging for everyone. Currently, I work as a scientific advisor and a consultant for several science-based brands. So I help just ensure there's accuracy and integrity with their educational and public-facing content. And then I also serve as a scientific writer at Endosymbiont, which is a German biotech and consulting company.
Well, that's all amazing. And to begin with, what originally inspired you to go into neuroscience and science communications?
Basically, my grandma struggled with Parkinson's disease. And so that was pretty much a defining moment in my life. Really watching her journey inspired me to pursue neuroscience and really deepen my curiosity just about how the brain worked. Basically, that overall experience shaped my mission and just wanting to make science more understandable, accessible, and then just relatable to the general public.
I really love that. So again, you mentioned that your grandmother's journey with the Parkinson's disease helped shape your career path. But how did that experience influence the way you approach your daily work today?
Yeah, I mean, some days are easier than others. And even on the tough days, I think that what keeps me going is knowing that communicating science can really make a difference in patient lives, families' lives, and even communities. Basically, her journey is really what first pushed me into pursuing neuroscience courses during my master's degree, and then ultimately pursuing my PhD in neuroimmunology at MUSC. And I'm really glad I did that because I was always really curious to see like the interconnection between the brain and how the immune system work. And so now it's really cool because I get to use my background just to help people just cut through misinformation and really understand evidence-based science and where it's just easier to understand. And then hopefully, I'm making it fun along the way for people.
Well, that's amazing to hear. And I know we touched on this a little bit before, but I would like to say that you built an incredible platform, Brains and Beyond. And can you tell us a little bit more how it started and what was your vision behind it?
Yeah. Yeah, Brampion actually started as a passion project. Again, I just really wanted to create a space that where people could learn about neuroscience, immunology, and oncology just without feeling overwhelmed and intimidated by the science. I've just seen how much misinformation's out there. And I wanted just to make sure that the science is accurate and approachable and fun for people. And what's been a really cool part of this experience is just how much this has grown, and it's opened up a lot of opportunities for me. And it's really become a brand that I built from scratch. And I think like icing on the cake for this, I guess I would say, is through this, I've really connected with some amazing peers, scientists, physicians, and other collaborators who overall share the same mission of just making science accessible to everyone.
That's wonderful. And I really love how you try to keep it accurate. So in your role as a scientific writer, how do you balance scientific accuracy while with making your content engaging and easy to understand for all audiences?
Yeah, it's something I really think about every day. And I think it really just starts with respecting the science. So everything I share is evidence-based and rooted in peer-reviewed research. So basically, what I'm trying to demonstrate is that accuracy doesn't have to mean it's complex where you can't understand it. So basically, I just focus on translating dense scientific concepts just into clear, relatable language that anybody can understand without diluting the facts. And so while writing my content, I always hyperlink all of my peer-reviewed references on my Linktree website, which is in my bio. And that way, if people are really interested in that post, that they can read the original studies themselves. And so, in this way, I feel like I'm keeping the science transparent, incredible, and accessible to everyone.
That's amazing to hear. And I love that you have that in your link tree. So if people actually want to go and read that peer-reviewed paper, they can.
Yep.
You've spoken a lot about combating misinformation in science. What are some of the biggest misconceptions you've encountered, and how do you address them through your work?
Yeah, I'm really passionate about this. I would say definitely combating misinformation in brain health, immunology, and cancer. Really, misinformation, we know that it spreads fast because it's driven by fear and not facts. And so I did launch a Myth Busting Monday series on my platform, and I had that going for a while. And basically, that was just to cut through the noise and bring evidence to the forefront and make science feel more approachable again. And then again, I've linked every post with my peer-reviewed paper on my website. And overall, I feel like this builds trust with my audience. And, the truth wins every time. And that should always be louder than fear.
I definitely agree. So even when things get difficult, what keeps you motivated to continue your work in neuroscience and communication?
Yeah, I think honestly, growing up as an athlete, that really taught me a lot about tenacity and perseverance. And I feel like that mindset really carried through just my whole career and my work today. And I think really what keeps me going is knowing that I'm actually helping people. So I've had several followers, reach out to me and tell me my posts have helped them understand like a loved one's stroke or their cancer diagnosis. And I think what's really cool is even I've had like a handful of people that reach out discussing my posts, and these are the people that used to, believe the fear mongering stuff. And I changed their view about the science. And so it's because I always lead with evidence and not emotion. And so I think when people see science differently, that's a huge win and is what keeps me motivated.
I love to hear that. And it seems like you do a lot for work. So beyond your professional work, what hobbies or interests help you like recharge and find the balance between the two?
Honestly, I love kicking ass on the tennis court. That's such a stress reliever for me. I also love playing golf, taking spin classes, hiking, traveling, hanging out with my husband and our dog. We both love going to concerts, and we actually saw Bruce Springsteen in Spain recently, which was a really cool experience. And of course, I love college football. Go Gamecocks. So that definitely keeps me grounded.
That's wonderful to hear. So you also mentor early career scientists. What's one piece of advice you always give your mentees, who want to enter the science communication field?
Yeah, I always tell them just start, right? Don't wait until you feel ready. Just do it, whether it's posting on your LinkedIn or even if it's just sharing science or writing for fun to build your portfolio, just get your ideas out there. Science communication, it's about learning and connecting and growing, and you don't have to be perfect. So, networking is really important, asking questions and just learning from people who do this really well. And that's really how I started Brain and Beyond from the ground up.
That's amazing to hear. So, talking about inspirations and mentees and mentors, who has been your biggest inspiration throughout your career in neuroscience and writing?
Yeah, I would say my biggest inspiration has always been my mom. She gave up a lot for me, just to make sure to set me up for success. And she always told me that I could break through the glass ceiling. And so from an early age, she really instilled that confidence and curiosity in me. And so I grew up believing that I could do anything that I wanted to set my mind to. And so she's really been my biggest supporter every step of the way, and I just still carry that belief with me.
I love that. And finally, to wrap things up, what advice would you give to students who are passionate about healthcare or science but feel overwhelmed or unsure about their path?
Yeah, I feel like the biggest takeaway is you don't have to have it all figured out. I know a lot of people think they should have, this whole career path, figured out and planned out. That's definitely not the case. My path has not been linear, and I think that's what's really made it fun and such a cool journey. Being a science communicator was definitely something that I did not plan. And it really evolved from just the curiosity and saying yes to opportunities that really excited me. So just expose yourself to things that you're really interested in, read, take different classes or courses, network with professionals that you really look up to, and honestly, follow other, evidence-based science accounts like mine, so you can learn in a fun way.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Kestner, for sharing your journey and insights with us today. I really loved how you talked about science and neuroscience all just coming in together. And I really love your platform, Brain and Beyond, as well.
I can so agree with Latika as well. I've dug into it a bit myself and thought I found a lot of information from it that was easy to digest. And it was so inspiring to hear about your work in making science more accessible and impactful.
Thank you. Well, thanks for hosting me on here. This was a really good conversation, and I love what you guys are doing with your platform, Vitals and Voices, too. Really honored to be a part of it.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much.
And to everyone tuning in, thank you for joining us on this episode of Battles and Voices. Your support and encouragement means so much to us.
If you enjoyed today's conversation, make sure to follow, share, and stay tuned for more episodes from Vitals and Voices. We'll see you next time.